I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to share with you some things from my heart. Some things that I wish I had known and understood before I went on what turned out to be a 50-pound weight loss journey. These aren't tips about how many steps you should be taking or how many calories you should be eating. I address things like that in other videos. These things are deeper and more personal. The ways I was thinking, beliefs that I didn't know I was holding that were really holding me back. Some things that could have really simplified and clarified how much weight I wanted to lose and how to get there. I spent what feels like over a decade being frustrated and kind of lost and making good efforts to lose weight, but never really getting there. Looking back, I can see how much mental clutter I had. Now that the fog has lifted and all that has cleared and I've lost the weight, I'm going to share some reflections with you, not as advice, but just to maybe help you get some clarity on your own thinking. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to talk about how I thought I was body obsessed and I wasn't. For a long time, I thought losing weight meant something about me and my character. Women get so many conflicting messages like, you have to keep looking good. Doesn't matter how many babies you've had. Doesn't matter if you're going through perimenopause or you've been through menopause or your hormones are all over the place or your stress is out of control. You need to keep looking good. But then if you make efforts to exercise and eat right, you kind of get this subtle message that you're body obsessed, that you're doing too much. So it feels like we're either doing too much or we're letting ourselves go and not do enough. It's a can't-win situation that I think all of us women find ourselves in. Please hear me say this. When I lost all my weight and I woke up in the body that feels like the right size body for me, then I realized this was never body obsession. This was my best self calling to me and not giving up on me and telling me there's something better for you. This was the real me calling me back because I had been in that body before. And so I guess I just instinctively knew what was right for me, but I didn't trust it. In Body Slims, Jer, the creator of it, gave the example of a house that you might build that's say 1,000 square feet. And you put in the electricity and the plumbing and the heating and the air conditioning and all the systems in that house. And then down the road, you decided to do a 500 square foot extension. But then you still relied on those same systems and it doesn't work the same. And that's how our bodies are. Like, they are optimized in our genetic code for a healthy weight range for our height and body type. We might find our numbers like cholesterol and our blood pressure and our blood sugar and our triglycerides and all those numbers slowly rising. And we don't sleep as well. And all these things start happening, which are our body speaking to us and telling us, hey, I'm not functioning my best. There's such a constant feedback loop between our body and our mind. That whole body-mind-spirit connection is so constant that we can never escape it. Oprah used to say, your life is always talking to you, and I believe your body is always talking to you. It loves you. It wants to be in alignment with you. And when we get out of sync with that, it's just really hard to deny, no matter what we tell ourselves about body positivity, and I'm all for that. I think we should love our body right where it is and how it is. And that's an amazing starting point for going on a weight loss journey. But so is understanding that it does not mean you're a bad person and that you're body obsessed. If that feels true to you, then take some time to think about it and ask yourself where you're really at with that. And just know that when you get to that point where you feel aligned, where your insides feel like they match your outside, you'll understand too that it wasn't body obsession driving you there. It was just your best self communicating to you and never giving up on you. The next thing I'm going to share took me way longer to figure out. In fact, I feel like this just recently hit me over the head. I could have simplified my whole weight loss journey by figuring out a number that made sense from the start. I could have simplified this whole thing by looking at a height and weight chart and just saying, okay, look, here's a 25-pound range for my height. A basic height and weight chart is a fabulous place to start when you want to figure out how much weight could I lose and feel my best. It's scientifically backed, it's logical, and it's attainable for anyone. When I started my main weight loss journey, I was aiming for 20 pounds. 3 times I had to mentally recalibrate to go back into weight loss mode when I thought I was going to be starting maintenance mode. If someone had just handed me a height and weight chart and said, here, look at this, like pick a number, go for that. And then I could have just gone directly there instead of partway there and oh wow, I still have work to do. And then another partway there and oh my goodness, I gotta go again. I didn't have to. I looked fine, I felt great. But at that point, I wanted my body fat and my BMI to come into a normal healthy range as well. No matter what anyone else said about how I looked or whatever, I still knew I was still feeling pretty soft, pretty not quite there yet. And again, I think that was my best self talking to me. So my recommendation is just look at a height and weight chart and use that as a target. No one wants to say that. It's unpopular. Just like saying count calories. People want to dismiss those height and weight charts and BMI ranges as being, well, it doesn't speak to my body type or my age or my situation. But okay, but it's a range. So for me, that would have worked. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that's what I would do if I had it to do over again. The last one is really personal, and I'm sure when I say it, it might strike a chord. It might even feel a little sensitive and painful. And that is the story I was telling myself about my body and my weight. I know we all have one. I've had so many conversations with women. I've heard all the stories. I know the things we tell ourselves, and a lot of times they're not very kind. But we've told them for so long that we just believe them and accept them as facts. Now, for myself, it was, I'm the chubby one because I have a sister that's like 4 or 5 inches taller than me, and she's just got a totally different body type. She takes after my dad, and I am petite like my mom. And so by comparison, I guess I thought I was the chubby one. I always said I have an athletic build, like that's a bad thing, right? But then it was, I have my babies so close together, of course I'm gonna gain weight. And I do give myself so much grace for that. I had 6 kids in 12 and a half years. Being pregnant, having kids, nursing kids, being not pregnant, being pregnant again. Yeah, that did a number on my body and my metabolism. And yeah, it's still not the same as it was pre-baby, but would I give the babies back? No, I wouldn't. But at the same time, I wish I would have realized that I could still get back to a size and weight and shape I was happy with. That I wasn't like destined to be slightly overweight for years because I'd had babies. I think it was just me accepting cultural norms and kind of settling for, again, what something inside of me was telling me wasn't quite right for me. We all have a story about our body and our weight. It's so common to say, I've always struggled with my weight. I've always been overweight, or like me, I'm the pudgy one. And one huge key here that I want to share with you, part of that story was my efforts aren't working. Like I'm exercising, I'm trying to eat right. And then one day I was like, of course my efforts are working. Think where I would be without my efforts. I'd be 50 more pounds overweight because I really did try to exercise and eat right. And that story was a huge part of the problem. Our brains want to be right when we say something like that. And I was making myself right. Then when I realized, oh, my efforts are totally working, and they're gonna work even better now because now I have a focus and a structure that I'm sticking to. I was able to say, my efforts of the past haven't gotten me where I want them to be, but I'm taking a new approach this time. And not only that, I've learned a lot from all those efforts. I have years more of experience about what works and what doesn't work, what foods work well for me, what ones don't. Even though I did body slims for like 30 pounds of my weight loss, I wish I had known that I could just follow common sense, look at a height and weight chart, just information I could easily find online about what calorie range to be in, Oh, if I had known that just walking was enough, I was trying to submit to much harder workout programs, and those have a place, but walking supports weight loss so well, and that was part of my story too. I don't think I necessarily believed that, but now after years of experience with that, I understand walking is the perfect complement to weight loss. So there were just all these parts of my story about my body, my weight, you know, what everyone else says about what works for weight loss, like everyone's an expert, right? But you are the expert on your own body. I always believed that about my parenting. Like I would read parenting books and I would be like, okay, I'd take some good information, some learning from there, but I'm still the expert on my own kids, and all 6 of them are different and I need to treat them differently. And that's the same with you and your body and your weight. Trust your own knowing. These are only things I understood after walking the path, pun kind of intended. For me, realizing I wasn't body obsessed, realizing that I could have just looked at a height and weight chart. Oh, that one kind of kills me. Cluing in to the stories that I was telling myself were things that, if I could have known them, would have helped me take a direct route to where I ultimately ended up going. But you know, you live and learn. So hopefully you can take something away from my lessons that will help you in your journey. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.